This might get weird.
Are we rolling?
We're rolling.
Well, then cheers, Grace Helbig.
Cheers, Mamrie Hart.
Here's to hoping we are rolling, and here's to hoping it goes smooth because I'm up in the jungle.
Yeah. This is a big departure from last week. Last week,
yes.
Home with the vid. Now, in the jungles of Mexico.
I mean, I feel like it's inspirational how much you and I are cramming in at the end of summer. Not that seasons even exist to us without children living in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
You know, like, I don't really have an excuse to be like, let me cram it in while summer's happening.
Yeah.
There is no summer to me.
No, though very much now, the TikTok girlies are into fall. It's fall.
Has it already changed?
I saw this morning a DIY candy apple station, and it had hundreds of thousands of likes. I was like,
that is the ultimate massive fall switch.
Yeah, you just like set it up. It looked adorable.
Should we do it?
Like, these girls, they're ready. They got their autumnal browns on and they are ready to go. And I'm like, it's 100 degrees outside still.
Right. No, I mean, we are still going to be like sweating our dicks off for 2 months in LA. Yeah. It's not going to change.
No.
Where are these fall vibes you speak of?
But
the Arctic Circle?
You got very autumnal looking. You look like you're in a mid-century modern, like Architect Digest home right now.
Right now, I look like I have my life together.
Yeah, I truly look like you are pitching like a travel photography coffee table book.
There we go. I've got like a middle part slick back, minimal, just a little mascara. I'm a clean girly right now.
Love it.
Psych, I just ate like so many huevos rancheros. It's rough. It's rough out here. No, I am on vacation, and by that I mean like 48 hours. I think altogether I'm here like less than 72 hours in a little place north of Puerto Vallarta, where you and I have been.
Yes.
But it's straight up jungle.
Yeah.
Like, it's wild, like just deep jungle. We are perched up. It truly is like a little mid-century modern home. Cool. That it's just little houses all through the mountains. It's super nice. Jacqueline, I'm here with her, or you know what I mean. This is when I cosplay. This is when I cosplay adulthood. Is when I'm with Jacqueline Johnson, my sugar mama.
Yeah.
But it's really beautiful, and I'm loving it. And I wish I was here for a week.
Yeah. How long? You're only there till tomorrow?
Tomorrow.
Damn. Crazy. But you
gotta fit it in.
You bounced back.
Exactly. I was in Mexico. I got home. I had COVID. Came back to Mexico.
The body is resilient. Incredible.
No, COVID was pretty easy. I was just sneezy.
Yeah.
And sneezing is annoying.
Yes, it is. I agree. 100%.
So it was just being home and being bored and watching watching the DNC.
Oh my God. So we went to Vegas last week, but we had the most like adult millennial, like balanced time. It was one of our best Vegas trips.
Break it down for us.
We literally would go out and then rush back to our room and sit on our bed and watch the clips of the DNC on YouTube.
That's next level.
It was truly the best way to do it. Well, it was also like, it's Vegas. So there's like, you know, a mixed bag of people there. And so it was like there was something comforting about running back to our room and locking the door like we were at like someone's party and trying to get away from everyone else to watch the Democrats.
Well, it's almost like Vegas is the rebellious child. It's the rebellious child of America, I would say. It's the, here comes the hair. It went down. This is my drag race reveal moment. It's the bad girl of the continental U.S. And so I would say that in the same way that like if you have wild parents, a kid does really well and that's almost their rebellion. Coming home early and locking the doors and watching the DNC in Vegas is almost the most rebellious thing you could do in that town.
Really, truly. It was
reverse rebellion.
It was really incredible. But the DNC itself was fun. I'm not over Gus Walls' reaction to his father.
I bawled.
I bawled to the walls. It was
Yes.
The George's roll call, all of it was incredible.
It was perfection. The only thing I was disappointed in was when they got to North Carolina, I was holding out hope that Petey Pablo would come out. Like, once Georgia got Lil Jon, I was like, oh, are we having a lot of drop-ins? And then, it can't, because it can't be 5 days long.
Yeah.
But I was holding out hope, and then I realized, I was like, I think Petey Pablo's been to jail. I don't know if they're going to. But they did play the song, which in and of itself felt like, a success. It was uplifting. I don't know if it's just because we're so invested in this election, but I don't know if I've ever sat down and watched the DNC.
That's what I was saying to Elliot. I was like, I've never watched this before. I didn't really have full contact. Like, I knew this happened, but like, I've never, like, he's gone to the DNC and the RNC for work before in the past. So he's like well-versed in this world. And I was like, so they roll call. Okay. And like, I was just like getting the lay of the land of how it all worked. But it was funny because we were running back to the room for the final night before Kamala spoke, because Mitt Romney was tweeting that he's not the special guest, but he hears that it might be Taylor or Beyonce. And so everyone was speculating, and we were like running back to be like, did we miss it? Did we miss a special guest? And no.
How did that rumor get so out of hand?
I don't know.
I've never seen a rumor in real time spiral that big for such a disappointing reality.
Yeah, I saw people were like they were posting about how Taylor Swift posted a photo from her Eras tour and it's in a carousel of photos, and it's probably like the third or fourth photo, and in the background she's on stage, and behind her is a shadow of a figure that looks like a woman walking away. And you could argue that it looks like the profile of Kamala Harris, like in a business suit, even though it's like a backup dancer walking away from but it looks like it's like a woman in a power suit walking away that could be Kamala Harris. And everyone's like, she's going to endorse Kamala because this photo.
Endorsing is completely different than flying back from Europe in the middle of a tour to surprise the DNC.
Yeah.
Two totally different things. That is a big jump to be like, oh, we see the shadow of Kamala in the background of a tour. Now she's going to be here.
Yeah, I don't know. I was like, could happen. But even Elliot was saying, he's like, she had to cancel some of her tour dates because of suspected terrorism. So they're like, she might be not in the safest place to be able to do something like that.
And also, if Taylor Swift is getting more terrorism threats than the DNC, maybe she shouldn't come. Maybe that's a perfect powder keg of too many people with enemies. Yeah. I mean, stay far away, Swift.
Man, 100%. I
just got the reminder on Facebook today, then and now, that 9 years ago was when we went and saw Taylor Swift.
Wow.
And we met her. 9 years ago is when we met her.
Wow.
Yeah.
It all comes together. It blew
just like
my
yesterday.
Mind. The craziest thing, I was like, these people are standing up for such a long time at the DNC. I was like, this is wild. We went to the Killers concert.
How was it?
Incredible. Honestly, I was like, I didn't know, I got it for Elliot for Christmas, and I know he likes the Killers. He's not a super fan, but he definitely really likes them. And
enough to go to Vegas and have a good time.
Yeah, and in my mind back at Christmas, I was like, I didn't know when I'd be able to travel, so I was like, let me get this for later in the year, and hopefully everything will be fine by then. But it was the 20th anniversary of their Hot Fuss album. So that's what they were celebrating, which is that, somebody told me that
I think that's the only Killer song I know.
And it literally, I have a core memory of driving down Route 17 in North Jersey during college, going to work at Applebee's, listening to that song on a CD in my car.
Yes.
And being like, oh yeah, I remember, but never listening to a single other song on the album.
You had the full album and only listened to that one? It wasn't one track on a burnt CD?
Oh, I only listened to what they played on the radio. It never even occurred to me that you
There
could
were other
listen to
songs.
the other songs on someone's album.
You're like, that's illegal. They're not released yet.
Yeah, I was like, these haven't been approved by the radio, so why would I listen to them? And also, the radio is the bops. I only want to hear the bops anyway.
Sorry, real quick. Do you remember the first time you listened to tracks that weren't like released singles? Because I remember, I mean, obviously I was really into like old rock and stuff in high school. So it wasn't like I was listening to the radio, but I remember Nelly Furtado's first album. Me being like, let me give this like a full listen. And it was in high school and being like, I really like songs that I don't think anyone else knows. And it feeling like, but you guys listened to the whole album, right? Like it was like a brain changer.
I think it was probably like Britney Spears or an NSYNC. I remember like my aunt buying me like an NSYNC CD when I was like in high school and being like, I hate this. Oh my God. But secretly loving it.
Okay.
Like,
okay. Sheesh.
Yeah. And being like, oh, why did she get me this? And then being in my room.
Because it's my favorite thing in the world.
Yeah. I'm going to play this out. And so I remember listening to those songs, but it just like I was so influenced by pop culture that I was like, I couldn't even make up my own mind of like, do I like these other songs if the culture is not telling me that I like these songs?
Copy.
And
okay.
I was never into slow songs. I just wanted bops. I wanted those catchy bops.
I've never been a slow song girly.
Back here in I don't know if you can see this on the screen, my stepmom was just in town visiting and she brought a burned CD of mine from 2005.
What is on it, bitch?
My stepbrother was like, we listened to it. He's like, it has, I think DMX, Get Out the Way. And
wait, no, that's Ludacris.
Or Ludacris. I think this is what he said. He's like, and then he's like, and then there was some Avenue Q. No. Because I had college roommates that were obsessed with that musical, and we all went and saw it, and I was like, these are catchy songs. So I threw some
my
on
God,
them.
that's an era.
And now I don't know what else is on there, and I have to figure out the means to play it because we don't have a CD player.
Yeah, who does? Wait, do I? No.
I'll figure it out.
We gotta find someone.
Yeah,
that is amazing.
I'm sure 2005, like that is prime time Helbig trying to figure out who she is in the world and being wildly influenced by the people directly around her.
Honestly, I feel like that could be a whole a study or a very short-lived podcast because it would be hard to produce where you have people bring like a CD they burned when they were younger, and it's like a clue into someone's brain.
Truly, like an incredibly intimate artifact. Like,
yes,
it is. So like I remember trying to put a mix of songs on there. So
do I have enough songs I like?
Right. And I'll just throw on songs I heard someone else playing. Yeah, so that'll have to listen to. But
I love that. That's like a diary entry.
Seriously. Of course, my stepmom just brought it. She's like, I found this.
That's so sweet. Okay, real talk. How much do you think you pay in subscriptions every month? And I'm not just talking about the ones that you remember and you actively use, like your streaming services or your music ones where you're like, oh, that's worth a subscription. I'm talking about all the ones that you signed up for a guy you signed up for, and then boom, you're getting billed. Constantly. Maybe it's even like an annual one, and those are the worst because they creep up on you, and then all of a sudden you've been charged $100 for some service you used for exactly 1 week. Well, no matter how many you think you're signed up for, it's probably more than you think. Over 74% of people have subscriptions they have forgotten about. I definitely did. Okay, when I signed up for a specific streaming service to watch a go-go dancing competition, didn't realize that I was going to be smack dab with a big old fee a year later when I had literally not even logged in since that one weekend. But thanks to Rocket Money, I am no longer wasting money on ones I forget about. Rocket Money is a personal finance app that finds and cancels your unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps you lower your bills so that you can grow your savings. Look, they're like a bouncer, okay? They go in there, they're like, this is what you're paying for, and you're like, cancel this, cancel that, cancel this, cancel that. Well, actually, I want to keep that, but I don't want to pay that much. They will go in there and they will like negotiate to lower your bill by up to 20%. Rocket Money, you're my hero. They have over 5 million users and have saved a total of $500 million in canceled subscriptions, saving members up to $740 a year when using all the app's features. I would rather spend that $740 on a trip, baby. So stop wasting money on things you don't use. Cancel your unwanted subscriptions by going to rocketmoney.com/TMGW. That's rocketmoney.com/TMGW. rocketmoney.com/TMGW. And then tell me everything you canceled. What's the weirdest thing you got Rocket Money to cancel for you?
Whether you're off to the pool, hiking, or traveling this summer, you're bringing your microbiome with you too. That's 38 trillion bacteria that live in and on you, especially in your gut, no big deal, that are essential to whole body health. Seed's DS-01 Daily Symbiotic benefits your gut, skin, and heart health in just 2 capsules a day. I'm really into gut health these days, guys, and Seed is really there for your gut. I love too that the DS-01 doesn't need refrigeration, and it comes with a free travel vial from their welcome kit that allows you to take DS-01 on the go. Plus, DS-01 is backed by science. Lots of science. With clinical trials and breakthrough research published in top scientific journals, Seed's probiotic research and development make DS-01 a product that you can trust. Not only has every ingredient been tested individually in scientific studies for their safety, dosage, and benefits, the DS-01 formulation as a whole has been evaluated in 2 clinical trials. Their patented capsule-in-capsule design means all 24 strands of bacteria survive the journey from shipping to your door through digestion without synthetic or chemical coatings. There's no refrigeration needed, and probiotics and prebiotics work best when they are used consistently, like any other routine health habits, like getting your daily walk or eating enough fruits and veggies. You have to stay consistent to see the benefits. So Seed's subscription service easily builds DS-01 into your routine. Support your gut this summer with Seed's DS-01 Daily Symbiotic. Go to seed.com/weird and use code 25TMGW to get 25% off your first month. That's 25% off your first month of Seed's DS-01 Daily Symbiotic at seed.com/weird, code 25TMGW. But the concert was amazing. We got seats that were up in the balcony, but the front of the balcony.
Like we did for Katy Perry.
Exactly.
That's the move.
That's the move. Because literally, we walked in and sat down, and there was a couple next to Elliot and a couple next to me, and they were older than us, and they were already sitting, and everyone else was kind of standing and drinking and hanging out. And I was like, okay, amazing. We're next to people that are they're going to sit.
Sitters.
Yeah. And I don't feel bad at all because Elliot and I are both tall too. So to stand in the front, I feel bad for the people behind us.
That's courteous.
So we were sitting there getting our bearings, and I was like, man, these couples, do they even want to be here? How did they end up? They seem not super into it.
That's the only tickets they could get. They really wanted to be at Adele.
Right. Okay. Then it starts, and the woman to Elliot's left just gets up and starts pointing over the balcony, saying every word to every Hot Fuzz song. Elliot was like, I was going to grab her by the hair. She was going to fall over.
That's terrifying.
Her husband just kind of sat back and let her do it, but she turned on. It was
yes.
Oh, ma'am, you were loading and getting ready for this. I was cracking up because by the end of it, her and Elliot are both pointing, saying all the songs.
Yes.
I was like, this is the best. But one, they started directly on time. Absolutely.
See, everything about
incredible.
Everything about this is perfect. This is again why I always say when people are because even Jacqueline, we realized we hadn't been to Vegas together, and she was like, I don't know if I've ever been that wasn't for work.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, that's crazy. I was like, but also, you gotta go around a concert because it starts on time. You know it's a nice venue. You know how long, everything about it takes the stress of going to a regular concert away.
Yes. It was so ideal. I was like, this is starting on time and I can sit down in between certain songs. This is the most perfect concert experience. They sounded
what
great.
Casino? What was the venue? The venue.
It was a venue in Caesars.
Where was the venue? Oh, well, not to sound like I'm literally a corpse, but that's where I saw both Cher and Kenny Loggins.
Excellent.
It's a
Quite
fantastic
a spectrum.
theater.
It's great. It was such like a perfect size, and the millennial screeching that was happening from the 20-year anniversary of these songs.
Yes.
It was like a lot of white people losing their minds right now.
Yeah. It's their Super Bowl.
But they play the album and then they do an encore with like 7 or 8 other songs. So they like get through the album, say goodnight, and then they come back out and then they do a bunch of songs that they change up every night. So Elliot was like excited to see which one.
To see what that was his like Taylor Swift. What's the bonus track? So do they play the album in its complete order?
I don't know if it was in order.
If I saw Nelly Furtado do that, I'd run through a wall.
Yeah.
I'd be so excited. I'd be like, oh, I know this little break in between track 6 and 7.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't know it enough to know what order it was in, but like the guy's story, I didn't know what Brandon Flowers looks like, the lead singer, and he looks just like a political Republican mixed with like John Mulaney. Like he's got that coif like hair and like chiseled jaw, and Elliot was like, he's Mormon. I was like, oh, that tracks. That he moved to Vegas from Utah, was a busboy at Caesars, started the band The Killers there.
Stop it.
Yeah. So this was like a
full circle.
Yeah. Really cool moment. So super fun.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Earlier that day, we went down. We were like, oh, we have this whole day to kill. Let's go down to Fremont Street, Old Vegas, because we were walking around. We stayed at the Venetian, which was so fun to look over the sphere, the dumb sphere that's there. And all of the games seemed so much more expensive. I don't know if I was just like financially aware of like our expenditures this time, but I was like, all these games are expensive. So we went down to Fremont Street and I got to see the original Ponies game.
Heard of it.
Yeah. So
I heard it's down there.
Chip took Elliot and the guys for the night before the wedding.
Bachelorette. Yep.
Yes. So you guys know we're obsessed with this Ponies game. In a casino called the D, if you go up to the second floor, there is the original version of the Ponies that you can play, and they run so slowly around this track, and it's all played with quarters. So you go break your dollars into quarters, and you have them in buckets. And I'm like, man, this is like, I remember being little and my grandfather taking me to the arcade and giving me a whole thing of quarters to play slot machines. And I was like, this is like nostalgic, and it was super fun. And then Elliot won some money on the original Ponies.
He's good at it.
Yeah, and he was going to check out like cash in his quarters. So I was waiting for him and just went to this like completely empty corner of the D and played a Little Shop of Horrors machine. And I was just like playing out my...
You and your musicals today.
I know.
Having a cute Little Shop of Horrors.
I was like clicking. I was like, let me just play out the money that I have and we'll leave and we'll go back home.
Right.
And I click it twice and then I get a Rick Moranis bonus and I win $1,100 on this machine.
Fuck up.
Yeah. And
my God.
Completely by myself. There wasn't a single other person in the corner of this. It was like the cleanest corner in this really shitty casino.
And I was Rick Moranis bonus.
Yeah. And I just texted Elliot. I was like, I just won $1,000. And he was like, what? I'm cashing in quarters right now. Where are you? I was like, we need to leave this place immediately.
And so that like paid... I mean, then you feel like Vegas is free. Let's keep going.
I was like, we can play the expensive machines now. But no, it was great. That was like before we went to the concert. So I was like, this is the best Vegas day we've had maybe ever in our Vegas experience. It was incredible.
I didn't even know there was $1,100 in the D.
Yeah, that's what I was
total.
Like. As soon as like I went to the machine and cashed out, I was like, we gotta get out of here. We gotta get out of this part of town.
Felt like a secret.
Yeah. I was like, I have too much cash on me to be just walking around in the world.
Well, here's the thing. I've never even thought about like just how easily you could get robbed.
I know. Yeah. And like, you don't think about
someone leaving the casino looking like they're in a good mood.
Like, that's why I was like, thank God I'm in this corner and this machine's volume is turned down and no one's really seeing what's actually happening here. So I can sort of slip out because otherwise you can see when people win, everyone gathers around and that sort of thing. So I was like, this feels so eerie. This is so weird, but we did it.
That's amazing. Best
so
trip
fun.
ever.
Super fun. Yeah.
I had a couple little moments of roughness this trip, just a little bit.
Okay.
First of all, has this ever happened to you? I called my Uber to take me to the airport early on Saturday, but I also knew like there wouldn't be traffic. It's Saturday, you know, like, and also it's different when you like fly to Mexico. It's not like flying to Europe where you're like, we better get there.
Yeah.
Like crazy in advance. Like for some reason, it just feels like, yeah, I'm flying to a different state.
Yeah. When you're going to Europe, it feels like you're going to be gone for years. And I need to make sure I have everything.
Did I get my shots? And they're like, you don't need them. Well, still though. So I call my Uber, totally normal timing. He shows up and he gets out to help me with the suitcase. He's like a smaller, like silver-haired man, completely barefoot.
Okay.
Completely barefoot.
He's grounded.
And then I get it, but like on my dirty ass street, right?
Yeah.
And then I get in the car and immediately I'm like, oh, I detect like an Australian or New Zealand accent. I'll give the Hobbit his bare feet.
Yeah.
You know, for some reason I was like, cultural differences. Got it.
Yeah.
Like, no, still wear shoes. It's safer or whatever. And so I called Uber Comfort. And so you can say conversation preferred, and I say no conversation.
Yeah, mine's on auto like that. Yeah, of no
Mine
conversation.
is too. Mine's normally no conversation, temperature cool.
Yeah.
But then I was like, I'm not a control freak. No preference on the temperature.
Temperature, but conversation still no.
So I get in and immediately he's yapping.
Yeah.
Yap city, right? So I go, sorry to be rude. I have to listen to something for work. And he's like, oh,
Classic.
no worries, blah, blah. I put on the headphones. I can still hear him talking, right? So we're going along. And then when it comes to literally a split that says LAX or Norwalk, California, wherever that is, he misses the split.
Oh, no.
So we are now going in the opposite way, away from the airport. Dead traffic. Like it's so bad. I'm like texting Jacqueline. I'm like, well, I hope I get there now. He's like, what time's your flight? And I'm like, oh, I mean, we have time, but I'd ideally like to be there in like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And then he does the thing that, it pissed me off. He goes, oh, well, where are you going? When I fly international, I get there at least 5 to 6 hours ahead of time.
Okay.
So now I'm getting a lecture from this barefooted man who's sneaking bites of a Starbucks breakfast sandwich and not even offering me any. You know what I mean? So I'm going to be late because of his mistake, not because of mine.
Is he driving barefoot?
He's driving barefoot.
Wow. Okay.
He didn't like slip off some slides and then put them back on. Yeah. So he says, oh, I do it 5 to 6 hours ahead. And I go, oh, yeah. And he goes, well, that's because I still have a lot of businesses abroad. And I'm like he wants me to bite so hard.
Breadcrumbs. Yeah, these are breadcrumbs.
And I'm just wiping those crumbs off of my lap.
Yeah, these are
you know
stale.
What I mean?
Yeah.
Anyway, not much else to report. I got there on time, but once again, we pull up to the Delta terminal and motherfucker gets out barefoot.
Barefoot. Wow.
And that's when I realized it's kind of embarrassing to be dropped off by a barefoot man. Like it was bad enough in front of my house, but to go up to a busy terminal and it looks like your dad is not wearing shoes as he drops you off and gets your luggage out. It was humiliating.
I guess I would think like he gave her his shoes. She must have lost her shoes and he gave her his shoes like a gentleman.
I was Googling in the back seat, is driving barefoot illegal?
Yeah, is it?
In none of the 50 states.
I think there should be, when you're in any sort of public transportation.
Business. Yeah, it's a
car,
business.
Plane, people, keep your shoes on.
Thank you. Not like there was no odor or nothing like that. But I still, like Fred Flintstone is dropping me off at the Delta terminal. Mm-hmm. And I would just have to be like, thanks so much. Like people were looking.
It's not, you didn't ask for this.
No.
I mean, yeah, should there be a preference of temperature, conversation, and shoes?
Footwear?
Yeah. Yes, please.
Because have you ever driven barefoot?
I've driven barefoot, yeah.
Necessity.
I've driven barefoot when I've had like sandals that are falling off my feet that are more comfortable to take off. Yeah,
exactly. Or like you're getting in your car and you were just in these crazy high heels and you're like, these heels feel dangerous. I'd rather have like a flat foot. Even then though, it always feels risky. It feels like your foot, it just doesn't line up the same.
It feels like you're on the run. Like
yes, and you didn't have time.
I didn't have time to
get shoes on before the cops arrived.
Yeah, or like my house was on fire or something, and I had to get out of there.
Sir, did you just get swatted and decide to pick up an Uber shift?
Yeah. Interesting.
It blew my mind. Y'all, there are some things in life that are okay to take a total risk and crapshoot on, like trying out a new place to go to dinner, or a new kind of nut milk in your coffee, perhaps a new workout class, which you don't know if it's going to push the limits or make you actually pass out. The one thing you should not take a risk on is doctors, okay? Not when there's so many resources for you to find reviews and see if you match up, going to a doctor and then realizing they don't take your insurance. None of that. It needs to happen in the year 2024 when you have the app ZocDoc, okay? If you haven't tried ZocDoc, you've definitely heard me talk about it. I have used this so many times, from pap smears to allergy tests to teeth cleaning. And I usually book them the night before because that is how I roll. Here's the deal. ZocDoc is a free app and website where you can search and compare high-quality in-network doctors, choose the right one for your needs, and click to instantly book an appointment. We are talking about in-network appointments with more than 100,000 healthcare providers across every specialty, from mental health to dental health, eye care to skincare, and so much more. It is easy and it is perfect for the procrastinator like me. Plus, ZocDoc appointments, like I said, happen fast, typically within just 24 to 72 hours of booking. You can even score same-day appointments, because I don't know about you, but if I actually have something bothering me enough to go to the doctor, I'm not waiting around, okay? I need answers fast, and ZocDoc does that for me. So if you would like to give it a shot, which you should, stop putting off those doctor's appointments and go to ZocDoc.com/weird to find and instantly book a top-rated doctor today. That's ZocDoc.com/weird. ZocDoc.com/weird. Phew.
Today we have support from HelloFresh. I love HelloFresh. With HelloFresh, you get farm fresh, pre-portioned ingredients and seasonal recipes delivered right to your doorstep. Skip trips to the grocery store and count on HelloFresh to make home cooking easy, fun, and affordable. That's why it's America's #1 meal kit. Home-cooked meals are excellent, but we know that we don't always have the time to pull it off. But with HelloFresh, handling all the meal planning, shopping, and most of the prep, it's easier than ever to get dinner on the table quick and painless. There's no more endless recipe searching or spending money on a whole jar of spices only to use a little pinch. With HelloFresh, everything you need to make these delicious meals comes right to your door, pre-portioned, and guess what? Fresh. Plus, they include step-by-step recipe cards, making cooking simple, and the recipe cards have pictures on them for all my visual learners. It's not just the written out step-by-step. They have the visuals that you can follow along with the whole time you're making it, which to me makes it a lot easier. There's always new flavors to explore with an ever-changing menu of 50 recipes to choose from every week. Just pick your meals and your delivery date. It's that simple. And if life gets busy and plans change, you can change your HelloFresh. You can easily customize your delivery from week to week, tailor everything to your schedule by adjusting or skipping a week when you're not able to cook at home. I literally have a home-style chicken and biscuit pot pie sitting on the counter in my kitchen, ready to be made this week. I've been a huge fan of HelloFresh, as you all know, and if you are interested for free breakfast for life, go to HelloFresh.com/free TMGW. One free breakfast item per box while subscription is active. That's free breakfast for life just by going to HelloFresh.com/free TMGW.
So anyway, we get here, and of course it's gorgeous and it's perfect, and this place is so nice. And Jacqueline rents a boat yesterday.
Nice.
And it was like one of those things where she rented a boat and they kept being like, oh, sorry, that one's under maintenance. Can we give you a bigger one and a bigger one? And so we're on like a yacht yesterday.
Oh my God. Okay.
I mean, what? I'm arriving to the airport with a barefoot man. Once I get here, we're on yachts. This is the difference in how.
What sort of White Lotus season are you living in right now?
This is how you can tell the difference in travel. So anyway, we're on the yacht. It's perfect. Having a little shams. It's gorgeous. So many turtles fucking in the middle of the ocean.
Wow. Okay.
I saw one big sea turtle and I was like, oh my God. Oh, you guys missed it. It was so big. It was amazing. When I say that over the course of the next hour, we saw like, I'm going to say 30 to 40 fully mounted turtles.
Whoa.
Having sex in the middle of the ocean.
Did you not see this on another trip?
But I saw this at a turtle sanctuary where it was like the fuck den. It was like the orgy station. This I saw in the wild. Like they are mounting in like, I don't know, 50-foot deep water. They're getting it.
I mean, you've seen
a lot of
more
turtle
turtles
sex.
fucking than most humans have seen that. Like,
I've seen more turtles fucking than most people have fucked.
yeah.
Yeah, lots of turtles. They were like, it's mating season. We were like, you don't say.
You don't say.
We just kept rolling up on 2 turtle heads.
They're just
bombing.
doing couples yoga. What's going on?
I know, they were like, yeah, so the eggs will be laid here. We're like, you don't say. We saw tons of turtle sex this afternoon.
Wow.
Which was really cool. But so then we go up and they anchor for like lunch and to hang with like paddle boards and like a big mat you can lay on. Probably like, I'm going to say 50 yards from the beach.
Okay.
And so Delia, who's Jacqueline's best friend who's here, Delia and Jackie are like, let's swim to the beach. And I'm like, I'm sorry, what? Like, this is, I will never be more comfortable saying I'm not a strong swimmer. Like I say it all the time. Like I sent Chip a pic and I was like, this is the beach they want to swim to. And he was like, you're the self-proclaimed like weakest swimmer in the world. And I'm like, and I confirmed that today because here Delia jumps in like she's in like a postcard for Greece.
Yeah.
You know, Jacqueline dives in too. And I'm like, I don't even know how to dive.
You're doing the bad Survivor dives.
I mean, this is when I know, like, I could never be on Survivor. So I look at the sweet turning 21 today boat employee. And I'm like, do you have like a noodle? Or which doesn't translate. So I'm like, a floaty, a life raft, anything. He comes back with a life vest.
Yes. Safety first.
And I'm like, all right, well, I won't be a complete nerd. I'll like hold it.
Yeah.
You know, like, yeah. This is me thinking it's cool to like wear a backpack on one shoulder. You know?
Yeah.
I was like, yeah. No, I don't need this.
I don't need it.
A little safety precaution.
He made me take it.
So then I jump in, thought I looked normal. According to the stories they've retold, I did not.
I bet.
They were like, we thought you were going to hit your head on the boat. I jumped like 6 inches off. I was like,
yeah, literally like Jennifer Coolidge.
Yes. Just hit the head, fall off. So I'm like, I didn't want to go in the first. I knew the second I jumped in, it was the wrong idea.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
They're already halfway there. I start kicking. I'm going nowhere. Right.
Oh, and then it's like the panic sets in.
So then I lay on my back. So then I'm kicking.
Yeah.
So then I'm like, at least I'll see like how far I get maybe like a third of the way and I'm fully, the anxiety attack is real. Like, I feel like I'm in a what is it? Like what do they call them on like when you're rafting? It's like a little, is it like a jetty? Like I'm like in a little whirlpool where I'm not moving, right?
Yeah.
And I'm starting to panic. And now I'm halfay between. So I'm like, and the undertow is happening. So I'm like, should I just go back? And I'm like, no, because like they're making memories. And like the FOMO is overstepping the fear.
I'll never be this young again. I have to do it.
Oh, so I'm out of breath.
I bet.
I am kicking. I have to suck it up and I go, Delia, come back for me. So she's already made it to the land. She swims back and pulls me in.
Wow.
And I'm like, and I've got the life vest. We get up there. It's pretty. You know, we see a coconut. We, you know, we like are in the stream for a second and they're like, should we go back? And I'm like, was this worth it, ladies?
Yeah.
Was this worth it?
Wait.
Luckily, Jacqueline admits it was also hard for her.
Okay. Well, that's good. Yeah. I don't honestly, swimming as an adult, Swimming for me in general, my whole life has never been easy. It's never been
because
something.
you look like you could swim really well. You're long.
Right. I look athletic in certain ways, and swimming has never been one of them. And also, like, as a panic-ridden person, it's a thing that, gets in the way. But I also know I don't need to do it as an adult.
The thing is even like the three of us, when we went to Greece together, they jumped off the boat and I was like, I'm good.
Yeah.
So we're like, all right, we're going to head back. The 20-year-old comes out on a paddleboard because he knows he's towing me in.
Yeah, because it's their liability at that point. They're like, this woman cannot make memories over us losing our jobs because she has died. So
they're just swimming willy-nilly. I'm hanging on one hand, which is really hard to grab a surfboard. There's like no traction. Yeah. I'm like cramping because I'm like holding this like it's a panini or something. It's like I'm at the tip of it so hard, holding the life vest in the other, just being towed in by a 20-year-old so slowly.
Amazing.
So slowly, right?
Amazing.
Because of the current and because like I weigh more than him and this paddleboard. Like this was a small man.
Wow.
And he's just like, you okay? And I'm like, yeah. I was like, I'm kicking. I'm helping.
It was worth it. It was
the
worth
paddle's
it.
hitting me like every 10 strokes. I'm just like not even calling it out. Finally get back there. And then I'm like, girls, I'm getting on the boat. I'm getting on the boat. Immediate seasickness. I had to go lay down for an hour. I'm like, I want to be a yacht girl. I'm not.
Your body's rejecting it. Yeah, you're not.
I'm not a yacht girl.
Girly.
Which is good for like bank account, but I was just like, you guys look like you're in a poster. Yeah. I just look like I was pulled up from a shipwreck and then had to go lay down because I didn't feel good.
Yeah, this is how we learn about ourselves. I
want to change it. Like I talk about like when I was younger, like I wanted to learn how to skateboard and snowboard.
Yeah,
and, like,
yeah.
There are things I wanted to do, and like coming to terms with the fact that that'll just never be who I am.
Yeah, I know.
Yesterday was the final nail in the ocean coffin.
Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah.
That's all right. Some people are, some people aren't. You gotta have people that sit on the shore and root on the people that go for a swim.
And then they paddleboarded, and I was like, that looks miserable.
Yeah.
That looks like no fun.
Yeah, water sports to me. I will appreciate water from a distance, but I'm not a water girly. There's too much going on in there that I don't know about.
The unknown.
I don't need to be meeting creatures that I don't know for the first time.
Well, that's the thing. I said to them, I go, in that moment of realizing how weak of a swimmer I am, which I've always known, but it was a whole new level yesterday. I was like, I realized in that moment that if a shark came up, I would just have to resign myself to dying.
Yeah.
I don't even think there was enough adrenaline in my body for me to outrun anything.
Do what? Punch it? Kick it?
That's what I'm saying. I think I'd like post up for a punch.
Yeah.
No, actually, I would immediately pass away. I'd be like, it wouldn't even have to touch me. I would pass away from natural causes immediately.
I would shit myself instantly.
And the shark would be like, pee you, I'm out of here.
I'm out of here. That girl does not have a healthy bowel system.
The shark would be like, I guess it's an octopus.
Yeah, I got inked.
It was rough.
Well, that's how you learn. You know, the vacations are beautiful from a distance.
So I slept like a rock last night. It was perfect.
Nice. I have one question.
Okay.
This was just in my notes I was looking at. When we were sitting at one of the bars in between things in Vegas, the Little League World Series was playing.
I've accidentally gotten into that probably 3 times in my life, where then it became my identity for a week.
Yeah. If we had stayed at this bar like 20 minutes later, I'd still be there rooting for every team. It was like Venezuela versus Mexico, and then it was like a game of Florida versus Texas. Ooh. And then I was like, I'm really into this. But it's also crazy because these are like little kids getting getting rooted on by adults. But my question is, why do they put the boys' weights on screen? They'll put like Here comes Jeremy Smith, 96 pounds, loves the color purple and...
The movie or the actual color?
Right, and Grand Theft Auto. And then you're like, why do I need to know this little boy's weight right now?
I don't know. I mean, do they do that in like grown-up baseball games?
Maybe. I haven't watched baseball for a while, so I'm not sure. But I'm like, even if they did, why?
It is a big why, because it's not like it makes sense in any sport in which they have weight classes.
Yeah, like boxing, that makes sense. Are they at the high or low end of their bracket? But this is
especially
like,
World Series, when you're like, some of them are clocking in at 80 pounds.
Right, and these are like 13-year-old boys going through puberty that are like, I don't want you to say that I'm 67 pounds. I'm a big boy. I was just like, this
I lied and told my friends I
cruel.
just made triple digits.
Yeah. I was like, why are they putting up these little boys' weights everywhere? Anyway, I got into that for half a second and it was so confusing. And then I haven't watched it since, but I made a note to look into it again.
Sometimes it gets pretty fun.
Yeah. Well,
Sometimes
I'm getting into, I just filled out brackets for the US Open because next week, I'm going to the U.S. Open with my dad and my brother.
Wait, I forgot. So fun.
Next Wednesday. And my dad, being hilariously my dad, and God, I couldn't be more of my father's daughter. He texted my brother and I yesterday, was like, what if we make this interesting? What if we bet on the semifinals and quarterfinals? And we were both like, immediately, yes, that is great.
God, you were such a Helbig.
I know. Let's turn this into a little March Madness, but for the U.S. Open. So we
in a couple... Sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, I got nothing cool.
Oh, no, that we all submitted our brackets this morning. So I was getting caught up on what's happening over in the U.S. Open, which has just started.
Well, first of all, you should call it a B' racket. Because it's great. Tennis.
Yeah, that's fun.
That's fun. I'm so sad. Unless they are redoing it, there's a store in my neighborhood called the Racket Doctor, which was a tennis store that literally it was like the employees wore scrubs like golf doctors. There was like a stethoscope. It was like where you go to get your like racket fixed. But like it felt like you were in it felt like you were in the 80s, like green carpeting. Wow. Like, and it was the Racket Doctor. And I think it finally bit the dust. So that's the only thing I know about tennis.
I know. And pickleball is like one of those things that
I want to learn it.
Same. I feel like you and I should actually try to do it. It would be really fun. Or we'd find out immediately we're not good at this.
Again, and I wouldn't take decades to not come to terms with this, like swimming. I think I might be really bad at rich people stuff.
Yeah.
Swimming. I know swimming is free, but like it feels like an elevated, like if your form of exercise is swimming, like you have access. And tennis. However, I remember the first time I saw a pickleball court. I was at Rosanna Pansino's house. And she was I think I was there for yet another dog birthday party because there was a minute there where everyone, like it was the thing to do was to throw your dog and a birthday party with humans and put it on social media. Yeah. It was an era. But I remember going to her dog's birthday party and seeing the pickleball court and thinking she just got a small tennis court because she's so small and being like, wow, that's a fucking flex. Is just being like, I'm tiny, so I'm going to make tennis tiny. I had no idea it existed.
Oh, yeah. No, pickleball, I think I talked about this on here before that, we played it in high school. And we thought it was just some sport that our high school made up to like keep us busy. And now it's like the most popular bougie kind of, or I don't even know if it's bougie, but it just seems like it's so highly marketable. So there's so much product associated with it.
Pickle is undeniably one of the funniest words.
Yeah. And it's like pretty universally like learnable. Like tennis is pretty, like you have to really try and put a lot of more, I think, effort and dedication into it. But pickleball is like everyone can try it and be like okay at it.
Okay, well, while we're talking about sports that feel of a certain age, I would say pickleball feels of a certain age. Like it's the big older person exercise. Yeah. In suburbs. I would like to learn how to golf.
How to golf. Okay. Yeah.
If you feel like doing any, I know you recently went to Topgolf. I'm going to maybe take a lesson.
I would do that because my dad took us to golfing ranges like to hit balls growing up, but he taught us like what he knew, which was not super professional. So yeah, I'd love to.
He was like, we were betting on you guys and how far you could.
Yeah, basically.
I mean, I would like to learn. I love that it's an outdoor. It's so funny because right now Chip is probably listening to this being like, well, I bought you disc golf stuff. And you did, and you lasted 3 holes of that, and you could do the exact same thing. Which, by the way, he got a basket in one last week.
Nice.
He got a hole in one.
This is your year, dude.
Killing it. And then Larry
take that guy to Vegas and see what happens.
But then Larry got stung by a hornet yesterday.
Oh no, is he okay?
He's okay, but like outdoor sports, you're gonna have the risk.
Is he like swollen in a hilarious, cartoonish way?
No, he didn't get the little. He did. Honestly, people think it's so funny. I would be
traumatized,
freaking the fuck out if my dog swolled up like that.
100%. Yeah, it looks funny in a photo, but like the reality of it is really traumatizing.
I would have them like fully monitored, like like you would think.
Yeah,
I would be like, oh. Just want to make sure they're still plugged in. Like, and they're like, ma'am, it's swelling. But yeah. Anyway, I would like to learn how to golf, and I am so down. I've looked up pickleball lessons. There's like the Pickleball Center of Santa Monica. There's one in Griffith Park that teaches.
Yeah, I would love to. That would be super fun just to get outside, because I've been wanting to play tennis, but like tennis is like a big commitment, and not a lot of
play
people.
With you.
I don't know anyone that really like plays, so pickleball feels a little bit more like universal.
Let's do it. I want to bring up one little DM before we go, before I'm back to the jungle, because I have a pool to go to. Okay.
Nice.
I'm a pool girl.
You've learned your lesson.
Mm-hmm. No, it's so funny. There's one pool that's like on the beach, and they're like, well, let's do. Delia's like, well, let's go there tomorrow, so like I can get in the ocean and Mamrie can stay in the pool.
Compromise. Nice.
I love it. I also have a very weird sunburn. No shock here. I thought I was being so surprised. So, what is it called? Responsible. Hard work. Yesterday, because I was all day long putting on 50. And then I look at the end of the day and I go, this is 15.
Oh, shit.
And Jacqueline's like, yeah, I was wondering why I said this is 15. I said, I heard 50.
Oh, no.
So my boobs are color blocked.
Excellent.
Let's just say that. But we got a DM the other day that I just want to know if this is real, or maybe we were just getting used to our new equipment. Someone DM'd us that they were hearing a high-pitched noise during our podcast that they think is the high-pitched noise you can't hear when you're older than 35. And I was like, is this a neg? And they were like, love you guys, love the pod, but I think you guys aren't hearing this because you're old.
Whoa, okay.
Are other youngsters hearing this?
Okay, yeah.
That was the only message we got, but I was like, I think it might be this person's speaker, but either way, it's a very funny way to tell someone they're old.
Yeah, and also like, well, I simply don't know what to do about that.
I simply cannot hear it.
I can't hear it. Yeah, interesting, because also Nick, our editor, would be over 35.
Okay, so I think this person just needs to go to the ear doctor.
Yeah, let us know
if you're listening.
If any of you have heard it. Now I'm like, interesting. Or if it's your speaker, or if it's sometimes you put a phone too close to a thing and it buzzes. Yeah. Who knows?
Or maybe you have a mosquito nearby.
Maybe.
Not sure, but I just thought it was so funny because I was also thinking, like, if people banked a bunch of podcasts who were over 35 and then they just came out with a high-pitched noise, crazy. And also, I don't remember hearing a lot of high-pitched noises before I turned 35.
Yeah, I mean, I was also pretty drunk before I turned 35.
The high-pitched noise was me.
Yeah. I don't really remember hearing those screeches, but thank you for the heads up. We will look into that. Mm-hmm. And if anyone else has heard it, let us know.
Yes.
Curious, very curious.
Very curious.
Maybe there's a Gen Z ghost in the background of these.
I guess so.
Who knows?
Who knows? Well, this was fantastic.
Yes, and also, guys, we have a Patreon. As always, this Saturday, we're going to be doing a little live stream over there. So if you're interested, go sign up at patreon.com/justmakeitweird.
Yes,
and
it is going to be
I chose
super
a book.
fun.
Yeah, book for book club, Between Two Kingdoms. It's a beautiful, amazing book by Salika Jouard, whose name I don't know if I'm pronouncing correctly, and I apologize, but she is an amazing writer. And in the next couple weeks, we're going to be doing a live stream going over that book. So go check out the Patreon. All the info is there.
Hell yeah. All right. Well, this was very fun. I'm glad you had a successful, very lucrative trip.
Truly one of our best Vegas trips, like in so many ways, which is like, whoa. Cool.
Well, hopefully your next one will be great too, because I think we have to go see Celine.
I know. That would be incredible. I can't believe she's performing again.
I can't either. And if anyone here works in Vegas and has a hookup, because I know those motherfuckers are going to be expensive as hell. But would love to see the Celine. But in the meantime, this got weird.
Yep.